Hey guys, welcome back to the COVID Cocktail Club. We are excited today to talk about a cocktail that I would say it's probably been abused more than any cocktail in history, and it's the daiquiri. I see you shaking. You agree?
Totally agree. It's got a bad rap.
Totally. So let's play word association. What do you think of when you think of daiquiri?
Spring break.
I was going to say Carlson Charlie. Same idea.
Okay.
Bourbon Street. Right? Am I right?
Frozen machines.
Yeah, frozen daiquiri. Yeah. So which is ironic, because this is actually, I think it's considered like the granddaddy of rum cocktails from Havana, Cuba. And really, unlike other cocktails that have been around that long, that it still remain, very sophisticated and polished and respected. This drink, for whatever reason, just sort of veered off, and for many years, that's really what people thought of. But it's actually making a comeback. I actually read, go ahead and get your forehead slap ready, that I read recently that it's going to be like the next Negroni. So Negroni sort of made a comeback, and daiquiri is going to be the next Negroni. We'll see. I don't think it's as good as a Negroni.
I would like to place bets with you on that. If you'll notice, I've got nothing up here. I mean, it's a very easy drink. It's just sugar, lime, and rum, and white rum. So, but because it's easy, that's sort of what makes it hard, because in one of the books that I was reading, it says, there's no place to hide. You can't really screw this up, because if one of your ingredients is not really good, it's going to show through. So it's classically simple. It's like the little black dress of cocktails.
I have no response to that.
If done right, it's classic and perfect. And if done wrong, it can go so bad.
It can go to Bourbon Street.
It can go to Bourbon Street.
In a frozen machine.
Okay, so the other interesting tidbit that I picked up doing my research was it's actually not from Havana, Cuba. It is from Cuba. Yes, it was actually created by a mining engineer in a small town in Cuba called, wait for it, Daiquiri.
I did read something similar. It's actually it's a beach town, is what I read.
Well, it was during the Spanish-American War. So it's old, and he was a mining engineer. So, but he actually, this is the original batch cocktail, because he served it in pitchers, and he would just lump in sugar and lots of rum and a little bit of lime juice and serve it as pitchers. So little by little, it was refined into, a good cocktail that we know today.
So
but it does have a long history of being served frozen. Even back then, it was served with a lot of shaved ice.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that most of you guys watching today have probably not had a classic daiquiri, or if you've had one, it's been a long time, but when you've had them, it's been a frozen. So we really hope you guys, have, if you don't already have rum, you're gonna go out and get some, just to get simple white rum. I'm using Cana Brava. What do you have, Rysse?
I'm gonna use the Plantation 3 stars.
Yep. So, white rum, it could be Bacardi. Just, start with just a simple white rum. It's not expensive. We'll talk about a variation in a second, and then lime and sugar. So we hope you guys try and experiment with going back to a classic and sort of forget the old daiquiri, just like you did with gin and tonics. And I think you guys would agree gin and tonics are not what you expected them to be from your past experience.
I was looking up recipes for this one, and I consulted 4 books of my very vast library. And in 4 books, I found 4 different recipes for the daiquiri. So while everybody says it's the same 3 ingredients, you can definitely mess with the ratio here. If you like it more tart, you're gonna go for more lime and less sugar. If you like it more sweet, go for more simple and take down the amount of sugar, or go for more simple and take down the amount of lime. So you can definitely do it that way. And if you don't have any simple syrup on hand, one of the books that I was looking at even said, just use a heaping bar spoon of straight up regular sugar and call it a day.
So simple and straightforward. I'm making today a variation called the Hemmingway Daiquiri, which is different than a Hemmingway.
I don't think I know that cocktail. What's a Hemmingway?
About 6 pounds, but it's really irrelevant for today's conversation. Anyways, a Hemmingway Daiquiri, which was created actually by a bartender who was serving Ernest Hemingway back in Cuba. And Hemingway did not like all the sugar, but wanted it extra strong. He was a known drinker.
He was also a diabetic. That's why he didn't want the sugar. He was a diabetic.
Well, I would also argue that since he wanted 4 ounces of rum in his drink, he was also a known drinker. So combined with his diabetes, he ordered what was actually deemed a papa doble, which was literally 4 ounces of rum and a splash of lime juice, and that's it.
Jason, I would
Yes.
also interject that drinking a lot is a sign of intelligence.
Oh, absolutely. I
So.
mean, small sample size, but I would agree, right?
Hemingway was brilliant, but you know,
But misunderstood.
aren't we all?
Anyway, anyways, the Hemmingway Daiquiri, which I actually prefer, sort of morphed over the years because most people did not want just basically straight rum with lime juice. So bartenders over the years created a more contemporary take on it. So they obviously kept the rum, kept the lime, but they actually added grapefruit juice, which I don't have grapefruit here, but I do have the juice. And they added maraschino liqueur, which we had a funny conversation earlier today, Rysse and I, about is it maraschino or maraschino? The actual proper term is maraschino. Here in the States, people call it maraschino. Call it whatever you want. We tend to call it maraschino. Hopefully you guys don't make too much fun of us.
We're pretending to be Italian.
Yes, but the maraschino and grapefruit juice added to the original recipe, I think just lend itself to just a slightly different taste.
You know what's cooler about my bottle than yours?
Yes, because I know you're going to say it's a better size because it fits on your bar shelf.
So this one comes in a 375 size. So it's a nice little Rysse size, and the actual one is quite tall, so it doesn't always fit. But if it's something that you think that you'd like to experiment with, but you don't want to commit to having a huge bottle, there is the 375, and I think he's adorable. So we are going to use our shaker tins because we are using, that's right, simple syrup and citrus. So we're going to shake.
Okay.
We're both going to start with 2 ounces of white rum, but I'm going to use 1 ounce of lime.
I'm going to use 3/4 because I'm going to be working in grapefruit as well. So I'm adding a 1/2 ounce of grapefruit. And then I'm adding a 1/2 ounce of the maraschino.
And since I don't have any of that in there, I'm doing 1 ounce of simple syrup. So what you may be thinking right now is that that sounded an awful lot like another recipe that we've made before. You may be thinking, well, geez, Rysse, that sounds a lot like a margarita. And I'm going to say to you, well, yes, thank you for paying attention. It is essentially a margarita, but with rum. Because the margarita was essentially a sour made with tequila, and this is just a sour made with rum. So same exact thing like we talked about with the margarita, 2-1-1 with your base spirit, citrus, and sweetener. Not rocket science.
Easy. All right, ice.
Shake it.
And as you guys will see, we both have our glasses chilled, which I think for this drink really helps.
Especially if you're used to having it served frozen.
I was going to say, if you have a double strainer, certainly you want to use that because of the citrus. I'm just going with a simple lime wheel. In fact, a lot of the recipes you'll see, that's really all it is. It's really just straightforward, light, crisp, really good summer cocktail. You can see the color difference there really is because of grapefruit juice. Everything else is pretty much the same.
But they're both really solidly good drinks, so have them both.
Absolutely.
Hey, here's a thought.
What?
You ever tried one with an egg white?
I have not.
Makes everything better.
It does. It does.
I think that would be a fun riff.
I'm not saying that word.
Okay, I just did. Okay, so for tomorrow, you guys, we're gonna go off the beaten path a little bit tomorrow and give you guys a more creative cocktail. Tomorrow we are using Reposado tequila, Saint Germain, lime juice, agave, and pomegranate juice. And that's sort of the key there. And if you want to keep your sriracha on hand, we might be using a little bit of that too. So all you spicy people, you're gonna have fun tomorrow.
Or if you're Marcy, Tabasco. Big on Louisiana support.
Yeah.
So Tabasco, sriracha, anything spicy.
Spicy.
So, all right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers, Rysse.
Cheers, Jason.